We are going to listen to the boy who cried wolf again, and we need to have our listening ears attached really tightly because we are going to try to listen for our vocabulary words. See if you can find the words cooperate, rules, guard, prank, and responsible in this story. And then I'm going to have two questions for you at the very end of the story. You don't know what they'll be, so you have to listen really well. Are you ready? Here we go.
The Boy Who Cried Wolf, based on a fable by Aesop. Does the boy follow the rules that Tio Pablo gave him? Long ago, in a village on the grassy plains, a boy named Gabriel reached his 15th birthday. Gabriel was bursting with excitement. He had waited for this day for many months. His uncle, Tio Pablo, was going to show him how to guard the village sheep. At noon, when the sun was high in the sky, Tio Pablo finally arrived. "Feliz cumpleaños, Gabriel," said Tio Pablo. "Happy birthday! I have come to give you a special gift. You are now old enough to be one of our village shepherds. Come with me, and I will show you what to do."
Okay, here we go to the next section.
Gabriel and Tio Pablo walked out into the fields. The village sheep grazed peacefully on the long, wavy grass. Tio Pablo explained to Gabriel, "Your job is to stand on this hill and guard the sheep. Shepherds have two important rules to follow. Rule number 1, if you see a wolf, cry out for help right away. Rule number 2, never cry wolf unless you actually see one." "Of course, Tio Pablo," Gabriel said eagerly. "That's easy. I can follow those rules." Tio Pablo went back to the village. Gabriel stood in the sun and watched the sheep. He looked way, way out across the plain, but there were no wolves. After a little while, Gabriel thought to himself, "This is boring. It's too quiet out here. It's time for some action. Just once, I want to see what happens if I cry wolf." So Gabriel cupped his hands to his mouth and cried, "Wolf! Wolf!" Men and women came running from the village. They rushed up the hill, still carrying the tools from their morning chores. But there was no wolf. The sheep were safely grazing, as usual. Gabriel laughed and laughed. The villagers did not laugh. Tio Pablo frowned. "Remember rule number 2, he reminded Gabriel.
So far, we've heard two of our vocabulary words. We've heard guard, because he was going to guard the sheep. And we have heard rules, because he had to follow the rules.
The villagers walked away. Gabriel went back to guarding the sheep. He looked way, way out across the plain, but there were no wolves to be seen. Gabriel sighed. "This is getting boring again," he thought. "It was fun to see how fast Tio Pablo and the others ran when I called them. I think I'll play my prank just one more time." So he did. "Wolf! Wolf!" Gabriel cried. "It's coming toward the sheep." All the villagers rushed back out to the field, but once again there was no wolf. There was no danger at all. Gabriel giggled, but no one else seemed to enjoy his prank. Tio Pablo shook his head. "You must learn to cooperate, Gabriel," he said. and I don't think you understand the importance of rule number 2. Gabriel felt bad. Lo siento, Tío Pablo. I'm sorry. I will follow the rules now, he promised.
So in that section we had prank, we had cooperate, because Gabriel has to learn to cooperate, and we had rules, because Gabriel said he would play by the rules now and follow the rules. Let's listen to the last section.
Gabriel was alone with the sheep again. He looked way, way out across the plain, but... Wait! What was that? Gabriel saw a dark speck coming toward the sheep. It crept closer, closer, and closer still. It was a wolf, a real wolf with pointed ears and a pointed black nose. "Wolf! Wolf!" Gabriel cried. The sheep scattered, but nobody came to help. Nobody even looked in Gabriel's direction. "Wolf! Wolf! There's really a wolf this time!" Gabriel called desperately. At last, one of the farmers working nearby turned to look. "Wolf!" he cried to the others. Once again, the villagers rushed to help Gabriel. They chased the wolf away, just in time. The sheep were safe. As the villagers walked away, Tío Pablo came up to Gabriel. "I hope you have learned to follow the rules of a responsible shepherd," he said. "Yes, Tío," Gabriel exclaimed. "If I want people to trust what I say, I must tell the truth. From now on, I will only cry wolf when I mean it."
Okay, so there we had the word responsible. So we had all of our vocabulary words in there. So here's my first question for you. What did Gabriel have to guard? I'll ask it one more time. What did Gabriel have to guard in this story? He had to watch over the sheep and protect them and keep them safe, didn't he? Why did Gabriel decide to play a prank on the villagers? He was bold and he wanted some excitement, because he didn't have anything to do out in the field except to watch the sheep. And it would get pretty boring watching the sheep just eat grass all day. Thank you for listening to the story with me today. You were really great listeners. Give yourself a big pat on the back for listening so well.